second one, the guy was angry. He only had one mic, and he just like passed it around. But he always grabbed the mic back when it was like about politics and just like and this and that and this and that. We're just kind of sitting there like it was wild.
That's pretty awkward.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're live.
Hey.
Or recording, at least.
Yeah.
We're recording.
Are we live too?
We are live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Over
YouTube.
there on the YouTubes.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Sassapat.
Yep. Episode 7. I'm Zach.
And I'm James.
And I'm Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
How's it going?
Yeah. Welcome.
Welcome to the studio.
It's very pretty. It's a basement, but it's a nice basement.
There's lots of stuff with lots
Nice
of
chairs
things.
this week.
Conversation pieces. I like the chairs.
Yeah.
This one's comfy.
Yeah.
This is new.
Okay.
You're
We
the
had
first
a table
one.
with regular chairs every other episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're,
Pulled out
you're
all
the
the
first
stops
one.
for you.
You're the first one.
I feel like first class.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like it. It's awesome.
You are first class.
And
So-
that recliner was the only piece of furniture I had in Spokane for like 3 months before I got a bed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that's just where I slept.
Slept in
Right
that
on
chair.
Yeah.
Nice.
Screw it. Just pull it back. It's good enough.
I've done that a few times myself.
Oh, it's so good. So I'm a big fan of that recliner.
As you get older, you're in the chair. Like, do you really want to walk upstairs to go to bed? Because you were
No.
already comfortable.
Yeah. Then you get uncomfortable, and then you have to get re-comfortable.
Exactly.
That's an awful experience.
It's not worth it.
But sometimes you wake up and you're like, I'd rather be in my bed. But then also the process of getting to bed is going to screw up your sleep. So you just kind of like stay, but you kind of regret it.
A little bit.
It's like you can't win in that situation, really.
Fair enough.
At least in my opinion.
All right. Tyler, what do you do?
I do a lot of things.
All right.
Do you want to start by work, or do you want to start about like hobbies? How do you want to go about this?
Let's start with passions. And then
Passions.
when we get like, so you're a singer.
Yeah, I like to drink. Oh, is that a
Okay.
different passion?
I mean, are they complimentary?
Man, that's a deep topic, but like music started when I was I think I was around 14 or 15 when I got my first guitar. I was obsessed with like playing air guitar as a kid. Always seeing guys like we were talking about Jamie Macheska earlier. There's a lot of kids around his age in my school grade, and they all had garage bands. They played Battle of the Bands, and I've watched from the sidelines, and I was like, I really want to do that. And so I got this really crappy Ibanez starter kit acoustic. I didn't know the first thing about playing guitar, but I loved the way it sounded, so I just stayed on that until I eventually got an electric. I got a handful of lessons, but I just basically was self-taught. I figured out a lot of stuff on my own, which was good and bad. I don't know how to read music,
Yeah.
but I just kind of find things that are pretty and go with it. And but I always wanted to be a guitarist, and when the high school days, I was in a garage band. We played one barbecue and immediately retired. And I ended up joining the Navy after that. So in the Navy, I met some musicians that also gave up like myself and joined the military. And we kind of worked on music here and there. And then that was just an experience. But when I came back, I started putting stuff on social media like Facebook, just clips of myself singing and playing guitar, thinking maybe I'll have the balls to actually get off my ass. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Fuck.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Go for it.
essentially,
Don't apologize.
after so many Facebook lame ass clips of like music and stuff like that, I had one person reach out and he's like, "Hey, do you want to be a front man for a band? It's just a cover band out in Tunkhannock." And I'm like, "Sure." So being in one band led to being in 2 cover bands at the same time, and then I was in 3 at one point, and then essentially the Holtzman Effect was born, and that consisted of a bunch of guys that were in my grade from those days, but they all went separate ways, and we all got back together over time. Like, we were in a cover band named Drive, and that's how it kind of formulated. We started the Holtzman Effect, and we started writing that stuff, and then I started Soul Satellite with Jason Macheska, and that's another original band, and they're both going strong. And yeah, I mean, now I'm just trailing off, but like the music took so many. I'm on more than one path currently.
Yeah.
So
You're in 2 bands currently.
I'm in one.
Drive and Soul Satellite.
Well, yes, I'm in a lot. There's a lot of projects I'm not allowed to talk about,
Yeah.
but like I'm writing a solo record. I'm in 2 original bands. I'm in an acoustic cover band called Beards Duo, and as of right now, that's about it.
Are they all in the same genre, or are they
No.
they're all different?
Yeah,
Are they all on like where can you find your
Holtzman
recordings?
Effect and Soul Satellite is all over Spotify and YouTube, Apple Music. Pretty much all the streaming services have Soul Satellite and the Holtzman Effect songs. And the solo album is not released. That's a whole another story. And that's pretty much it. The cover band Beards Duo is just a thing that me and a guy named Cody Sibio, we go out and we'll play at bars like the V Spot and just play cover music for 4 hours a night. So, yeah.
Get some exposure.
Yeah.
Just get out there in front of people.
Well, yeah, and get also, pay the bills.
that helps.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So,
So at what point did you go? I mean, you said someone reached out to you. Was that the point that you realized, like, oh, I could sing?
I was always terrified. My confidence, my self-esteem was non-existent. I didn't think I had what it takes to be on a stage. And one person asked me, and I finally said, I'm just going to try it. And that first year was rough. Like, I was 25 or 26 when I sang at my first show, and I was at the Boathouse. And it was just cover songs. We sang Beatles and stuff like that. But I was a child inside of a grown man. I was shaking from the beginning to the end of the set. But it was the most thrilling I ever felt in my life. And I was addicted. I wanted more. So we started just booking shows all over the place and making a name. And then that's when I started, the addiction took off. Like, I had an offer, well, if you want, you could sing for this band called Drive, which is another cover band, but they do older music. And I'm like, done. So next thing you know it, like, I'm playing almost double headers, like shows on the same day, and the weekends are always booked, and I was just addicted. And then when Drive, those guys that I was talking about earlier, Sean Hetzko and Cody Sibio, they looked at me and they're like, you have originals. Why don't we just start an original band? And I'm like, okay. And then that just one thing led to another, and we came out with our first EP, Samuda, which was last year. So, and Soul Satellite fell in the same timeline. When Soul Satellite started, we started writing music, and we also released a EP as well. And that one doesn't have a name; it's just EP. So
Keep it simple.
keep it simple. Exactly.
Yeah.
The music is simple. It's got that rawness to it. It's just American rock. So
Yeah. I watched one of the music videos
yeah,
today. It was a what the hell was it called? Shindig.
yeah,
And I saw Jeff in it.
Jeff Nye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dancing behind the drummer.
I it's a funny story about Jeff Nye. He used to work at the Gallery Sound in Clark Summit. I don't know if you knew that. That was years ago when Gallery Sound was still there.
So he's been on the show.
Yeah.
He's been here.
So you know.
Oh, has he?
did an episode. Yeah.
I've known Jeff since I was like a very, very little kid.
There's a connection to me and him. Because, like, growing up, when I got into my mother passed away when I was around 10 or 11, and I didn't know much about music, but I found she had CDs, and I found AC/DC, Back in Black, Cher, the Guess Who band, and I'm like, what are these? I didn't know anything. Like, I was a clueless child in the middle of Ransom talking to trees. So, like, as
Let's talk more about that.
no, it's not. But when I found out
Go
that
on.
Gallery Sound had CDs, like, I begged my father to take me there because I wanted to buy CDs, and that's when I ran into the wise, the only Jeff Nye, covered in just bleach blonde dreads, and he's like, "Yeah, man," and like I never saw anybody like that in my life, and he's the reason that I bought my very first Audioslave album, and then I was hooked on Chris Cornell ever since, and I've always wanted to sound like him, and it just, I don't know, like we connected. And now years later, like him and me and a couple other guys, of course, Jason included, opened up a stage, Keystone Stage out in Dixon City. So, but it's funny. It's a small world, It all
Very.
revolves.
Yeah, Jeff and I worked at Tattoo Betty's. We worked at Tattoo Betty's together.
Oh, wow.
So
I never been there. I've always heard many, many stories, though.
I'm sure.
It's
I was only there for a little bit,
nice.
but just enough. Just enough time.
Just enough to give me a tattoo. He gave me this
Cool.
line work for this tattoo.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was later
let's
finished
be very
by someone
specific.
else.
That was just the line work and it
Just
wasn't
the
good.
line work, and it was good enough.
We'll stick with good enough.
It has sentimental value.
That's all right. I have incomplete work for years. I have to have Sling It Ink, Vinny Warden. He did all this work. My first tattoo was from this girl down in Virginia, and that's the engineman insignia. That was the career I was when I was in the Navy. And then I was gonna have her do more, but she I showed up at the shop one day down there, and they're like, "Yeah, she's gone. Like nobody knows where she went. She just turned into a ghost." It scared the hell out of me.
It's kind of impressive.
Like, literally nobody. She's a missing person.
I don't know if she
Or
was
just,
ever
like,
a missing
they didn't know
person.
her,
I
like-
never pursued it,
Oh.
but they're like, yeah, she just stopped coming back,
Oh,
and I'm like, what the hell? Because she was amazing, and I wanted her to keep working on my arm. But then when I came home after I got out of the Navy, I talked to Vinny, and he was all about it. He just did like a biomech to kind of like refer to the Navy life I had, and then he did this side as to basically to music. So
Sweet.
yeah,
Cool.
I like it.
Yeah, Zach's got more tattoos.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe
Tattoo golf pro up at Scranton Country Club.
that. Oh.
breaking
Yeah.
breaking the
Breaking the mold.
stereotypes
Yeah. Try and break the mold as best I
or
can.
the rules. Breaking the rules. They have to make new rules for Zach everywhere he goes.
Are
'Cause he doesn't fit the
old
mold.
guys frightened when you walk into a room up there?
No, and actually, it's interesting because I cover them, so I wear a sleeve, which is honestly probably the best thing for them is that they're covered all summer long.
Yeah.
So I don't really they're not getting damaged, they're not getting faded, all that. But a lot of people don't even realize. They're like, "Oh, how's your arm?" And I was like, "My arm." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "Oh, this is fine. I just cover my tattoos." And they're like, "What? You still have to cover those? Like you're the only one here that covers them."
Yeah.
I was like, "Everyone else in every other part of this country club does not cover them." I was like,
So
"You're the
you have to, or you choose to.
I'm probably in a weird spot because if I stop and people say something, everyone else is going to have to start covering theirs.
Well, has that happened yet, though? Has somebody said something to you? Like, sir, your skin is uncomfortable to many other
no.
people.
No, because it's always covered. I've never had them uncovered there.
So most people don't even know you have.
They don't even know.
They
they
just
know-
think that
or
he's-
they
he's
know-
doing it for style.
There you go.
Yeah. It's like my basketball shooting.
Yeah.
The shooting sleeve, you know? Keeps my elbow in place. Gets a little loose sometimes. But no. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know why I'm wearing I could probably not wear it at this point, but my thing is if I make a big deal out of it, I think everyone else is going to have to cover theirs and it's not going to go the other way.
I'm picturing
Yeah, that could
this
be
like
bad.
old badass up there. The guy that's like, the Scranton Country Club is it's a stomping grounds. He's a legend. And he sees this guy, calls him out. He's just like, oh man, you can't golf worth a shit. And next thing you know, he's like, oh, okay, pulls the shirt off, tattoos head to toe, born to golf. You know what I mean? The guy's like,
Yeah,
oh shit.
Across the stomach, born to golf.
Then he shits his pants.
Yeah.
Credits.
End scene.
That's
Yep.
it. It'd be good for a skit comedy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about doing some skit comedy because you get a lot of people up there. You're in the
I saw a golf themed.
yeah,
skit
little all
comedy.
in the customer relations world. You just get a lot of different types of people,
Yeah.
and most of it just writes itself. Like every day, you're like, man, I should write that down. Hold on. Thanks, man. That was a good one. I'll save that one for later.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, so
Are there any topics that you would like to talk about specifically, or or to avoid?
Man, that's
Like your military background, is that like go?
I mean,
Or do you
like
wanna talk a little bit about that.
I was a loser kid. I got out of high school and I had a girlfriend that went to. She had like her life planned out. She went to Pitt, and it it was all planned out for her. And like she went out to college to like be somebody, and I just I was here smoking weed, worked 2 jobs. I was scared to death of college because of debt.
Yeah.
Like I see these kids are going in, they're just in thousands of dollars worth of debt, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I was doing the music thing, and like I don't know, I was the perfect prey for a recruiter. And my cousin joined, and he called me one day, and this wasn't to benefit me whatsoever. It was to benefit him because he got he made an extra. He went from E2 to E3 just for getting me signed up.
Mhm.
So that was the play. So he's like, why don't you go down to a recruiting station if you feel that way, and like, that might be your only bet in life, man. Give it a shot. At least you can do is talk to him. So I came down there. 2 weeks later, I was in Chicago, boot camp.
Oh, man.
bing,
Yeah.
bang, boom.
He just, it didn't take much.
What are they like? What are they? How do they incentivize it? Like, what's it look like to get recruited?
what's it look like to get recruited?
Like for you specifically, or like in general?
Well, I mean, it's different for everybody. It really depends. Like, it depends on their timeline in life.
Yeah.
And like, if they're in school, then they would do a program until they're ready to go to boot camp. But I was a year out. I was a year out of school, and I had nothing planned in life, and I was in really good shape at that time too. And I didn't have to go to like a fitness like course. I forget what they call it. There's a name for it to get myself ready for boot camp. I just showed up, and he's like, "Yeah, you look pretty good." And then they took me down to processing MEPS in Harrisburg, where they like do all the medical processing. And I pissed into a cup, and I passed that. Don't know how. And then
oh, you didn't. So they were like, "Nah, he's just weed."
We'll leave it at that. And then they flew my ass out to Chicago 2 weeks later, and I was doing push-ups and getting yelled at, and they did the whole break you down and rebuild you into a person. And yeah, that was it. I got transferred out of there. I mean, it's like cattle. I guess I was trying to think of like how to describe it. When you're a guy that's going into boot camp, like you're a piece of meat that's being processed into the government. Mm-hmm. Everyone stands in line all the time. They give you all the shots. They train you. They teach you how to do this. They teach you how to do that. But every time you're doing something, you're always with a group of people. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's the way I saw it.
Yeah, that keeping you in groups allows for them to capitalize on like the whole herd type of mentality where you're just like,
in a sense,
this is what's happening.
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
all doing this together.
But it's like you can argue it too. I'm stuttering. You can argue it too because like it's also team building skills because like there's all different kinds of people, and you learn about communication, and that's a big thing. And like I don't know, it has pros and cons, but they shipped my ass off to an aircraft carrier, and I was stationed on the Eisenhower, and then I did 2 10-month deployments throughout my 4 years, and then that was it. It was all pretty much a blur because I drank a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they try to encourage sailors. I mean, back when I went 2008 to 2012, they encouraged like it's not about drinking. You should go hit a port and like do the experiences. We have all of these like MWR trips where you can go on a safari and you can go do stuff. And I did some of those trips, but like there's a lot of times like I really want to get off of this boat and just go to a bar and just unwind. Yeah. And it led to that a lot. And like I had friends that like didn't really help the cause. They're like, let's do it. And that was my peer pressure.
Yeah.
So
people to join in on the debauchery.
Basically. But I kicked my own ass because like you had so many opportunities. You could have went and did college credits while you were in and all that stuff, and like I just didn't have that in me. Like I've seen people do it. I saw people go from being an enlisted to going into the academy for the college credits and like doing all that stuff, and I just cruise lined it. I just cruise control right out of boot camp right out of active duty, and I came home and I thought I was gonna get a job at Toby Hanna and just retire. And that didn't happen. I ended up just hopping jobs for years until I landed into industrial maintenance, and now I work at an industrial plant.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Which one?
Simona America.
What do they do?
They make like PVC polyethylene sheets and like
so like AZEK.
Yeah, same thing, competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's it called?
Simona.
Yeah.
Make doors for bathrooms.
Yeah, pretty much everything. Playset stuff. There's so many things that we make. But it's essentially sheets.
Yeah.
Some of the people are members.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you do maintenance.
Yeah, I keep the production lines running.
So you're doing like mechanical work on the
actual... yeah, we'll either do mechanical, pneumatics, hydraulics, mostly heaters because everything's melted, extrusion technology. It's just melting pellets into plastic forms into sheets, so on and so forth. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
I work with those types of sheets sometimes.
Oh yeah.
To do like custom furniture for beach houses and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like not ideal. I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I like working with wood. But
wood is cool. I would love to work with wood, but like my dad was a bricklayer, and I never really got into that side of. He just like grew up, and he always dragged me to job sites carrying block, and he's like, "Don't ever do this. Don't ever do this."
Okay.
So I stayed away from that trade. Yeah. Like I just never even tried.
It's a ball buster.
Oh, I believe it.
That's my brother does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's.
But I would just kill to have like a wood shop.
Don't kill me.
like open a beer and just like make a fucking cabinet. Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd be all about that.
Yeah, I don't make myself a lot of cabinets.
Well,
now
I
that
mean-
I make it all day.
Right.
Yeah, but sometimes I do, and it's nice to be able to.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's like the craziest thing you've made out of wood? Is there a crazy thing, or Did you ever,
you guys
like,
have made some cool
crazy.
stuff.
push the challenge to test the limits?
Probably like the most challenging thing we did was it was a floating curved staircase out in Newton.
Okay.
We did it was like a double set of stairs basically, like it was like two just like long stringers with no support underneath, and which we made out of bent wood.
So
And-
curve, not spiral.
Yeah, curve, not spiral.
All right. So it was
Yeah,
like hugging
so-
a wall going up.
Yeah, but there was no wall, so it was just freestanding.
No shit.
And there was two of them, one on top of the other.
Okay.
Like one went from the basement up to the first floor, and the other one went from the first floor up to like the second floor, like balcony area.
Oh wow.
And so that was pretty sweet. It was a challenge. We had to build walls, to in the shape that we wanted the stringers, and then we had to laminate plywood, like we'd cut plywood to the right width and then laminate it up like maybe 11 layers thick or something like that, all clamped to the wall, screwed together. And then we had to like break the walls down, take the stringers down, sand them all out,
Yeah.
veneer them, and then put them back up and cut a tread, like a wedge shaped tread for each step going up. So it was pretty involved. It came out awesome. I have a, let me see here. There
it
you go.
is.
That's it. I was gonna say it's on my
I can't
business. It's
prepare.
on my business card.
Oh my god, that looks like it's out of a movie.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I like
It's very.
the finish on the wood alone is really amazing.
Oh, they're reclaimed. The treads, like where you step, are reclaimed barnwood
Okay.
beams, and then everything else is maple.
That's
Yeah.
So yeah, check out Hollis and Cianci.
you
Hollis
should
and
be.
Cianci. We don't
you
mention
should
it
be
on here
proud of
much,
that. That's amazing work.
check it out.
That looks good.
We can't even
Thanks.
talk about Tyler, and we're talking about.
But that's really good.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
look
yeah.
at that.
It is really good.
All right,
1-800-HollisandCianci.com. Just kidding. It's HollisandCianci.com.
Yeah, I was fortunate to work at that house a little bit too.
Yeah, Zach helped out there.
That's
we did a
cool.
lot of work in that house.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we ended up doing. We did the kitchen. We did all their vanities and a bunch of other custom woodworking, all the trim. But then they ended up having trouble with their like drywallers to do their basement. So we ended up hanging like
2,500 square feet of it.
2,500
Holy
square feet. Yeah, 5/8 fire rated drywall in the ceilings. And it was like it must have been like 116-foot sheets of
Oh my.
drywall, and then spackled. And then I spackled it.
We were there. For
Did I do all the
months.
spackle?
Yeah, we were there for
Yeah.
months.
Then I spackled it all by myself, and I'm not a professional spackler. I mean, I've done a lot of spackling. And I could do a good job, but like I'm not a professional. And then like Zach and my brother came back through and they sanded it all. Like sanded it all. Thank God, because I would have killed myself if I had to sand all that. And
a trip.
it was a lot of it was crazy. I mean, we had a good reputation, but we had a good relationship with the homeowner.
Cool.
And we were even like up front, like, hey, you hire
So
a
there was-
drywall guy, you're gonna save money.
There was
you
no
know,
stress
but-
then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
That's
was,
good.
Yeah, it was like very very little stress.
Nice.
Good
definitely
customer
open.
client relation is like, or that's like
Key.
that's the best.
Yeah.
Like I just worked down at the beach for a week, in Ship Bottom, New Jersey, which is on Long Beach Island.
Okay.
And I got to stay in like the house the whole week while I was working. So I just like get up, walk out to the detached garage, like do work for the day, walk back over, change into my wetsuit, walk down to the beach, go surfing.
That's pretty awesome.
It was great. It
Were
was
you
the
ever
best.
like one of those guys that like I know carpenters that would fly down to Florida and just work for a couple months and come home?
No, never did that.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Usually like
Tyler-
hurricane season, they'll come down and they'll
Oh,
work and
yeah.
then they'll come back and all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
That makes sense, actually.
I could see that. It's not really my style.
I was down in North Carolina after they got hit with something pretty nasty a couple years back, and I was golfing, and it was through a neighborhood,
Yeah.
and it was like every other house had a roofer redoing the roof.
Wow.
I was like, these guys are busy. Like, And they're like, yeah,
they
not
probably
stop.
bust their asses.
Like a new house a day. They're
Yeah.
just rifling through houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, it probably may have been worth it just to like, I guess I could go do some roofing for a couple months and then make a couple grand, come home, call it a day,
Yeah.
never going back.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but yes, like I said, it's not my style. It's too much. Like, I don't like to do that. Like, rush, kind of. Like rush, then like take a break. I'd rather like just have like every day be
Yeah.
enjoyable. I do my best to create that reality.
A little more balance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like those guys probably get balance too. Like you go hard, then you take a break. You go hard, take a break. But yeah, I don't know. I'd also go crazy like in the downtime. I was like really happy to be working at the beach. Like I go to the beach all the time, not all the time, but like every year, and sometimes I see guys working. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. Like,
Yeah.
while I'm at the beach, I just want to surf and do this and that. But I was like, well, I like working. I like my job. I don't have a boss. Like, it's a great way to make a living. And then I also get to surf at the end of the day. It's
I'm
like
just jealous you
perfect.
can surf. I can't surf to save my life.
You could if you practice. Do you ever go to the beach?
Yeah.
Do you have like friends with boards or?
No, when I was stationed out in Virginia, like I knew a couple of people that own houses on like Ocean View, and which is like the inside, not the actual
Yeah.
shoreline. And then like I knew guys that had houses that were like close to the boardwalk and stuff like that. And I made attempts, but like I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it was just an epic failure every time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever surf like while you were traveling in the Navy?
No, I've
No.
had opportunities. I scuba
Yeah.
dived, and that was about as far as I've gotten.
Yeah.
So
Did some guys surf?
what's that?
Like, would you like port somewhere and some guys would go out and surf, or no? Is that not common?
It really depends because like we do have a lot. Like if we come into a port, it'll either be like, okay, you got so many Liberty days, and then you need a buddy system,
Mhm.
and then like MWR will give you an option, like options and packages, like what you want to do,
Mhm.
and like one of those options may be like going to surf on the beach or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that could be an option. It's not always there, but like
Yeah.
sometimes it's there. So we just whatever they can like kind of grab for us, we'll take.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
I whitewater raft in Italia, Turkey.
Oh, nice.
That was cool. That was a lot of fun. It was like
That sounds
It was
awesome.
like it was like a whole nother world.
really.
Yeah, it was like a different planet. It was
Yeah.
amazing, and also intoxicated.
But you remember it, so you weren't
Yeah,
too intoxicated.
I mean, I get
Yeah.
the one thing I do regret that my friends did that I did not do is take pictures.
Oh.
I don't have like I have a
Yeah.
handful of pictures, but like nothing like that'll blow your mind.
Mhm.
So, but like Dubai, there was like a safari. I did that.
That place
Um,
seems ridiculous.
Well, when a carrier is overseas, like most of the time, it like they'll not all the time, but like Dubai would be a port that they would go to resupply and like do stuff like that, which will give like sailors the opportunity to go check out Dubai. And there's so many. The mall of Dubai is like the size of Scranton. It's just massive.
Yeah.
Every store on the planet is there. There is snow. There's 140 degrees outside. You walk inside, there's snow being made, like at a ski resort in the middle of this mall. It's amazing. They have I don't know. I could talk forever. Every time I pulled into Dubai, it was a different experience, and I've seen so many things over there. But I don't know. It's wild.
Like what?
It's, our-
Like,
it's his job. He's got to ask.
I know.
it's not my job.
I turned
Pseudo job.
It's pseudo job.
I turned 21, and I was out to sea when I turned 21. But I wanted to celebrate when we pulled in the port next, which was Dubai. And I've heard of a bar that I really want to check out called Ebony and Ivory. When you walk into this bar, all the wood tables, wood chairs, the trimming on the walls, everything was made out of very specific wood that was purposely burned.
Yeah.
So it was just this awesome
Really?
black texture.
Yeah.
The bar top was crystal. It was
Like-
amazing.
Just like perfectly clear.
It was not though.
Oh.
It was imperfect. Like
Oh,
it was
really?
chipped and stuff
Mm.
like that, but it was smooth, so it was
Oh.
safe to like put your
Yeah.
hands on everything like that.
That's
but it
cool.
was fucking crystal. I had a drink called a Flaming Lamborghini. I don't even know what's in it, and that was my 21st. Like I just drank a shitload of those and I got bombed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And
Celebrated your 21st birthday in Dubai
Yeah.
At this place called Ivory and Ebony.
Ebony
I
and
thought you were
Ivory.
gonna Ebony and Ivory.
Ebony, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say everything had ebony, wood, and ivory, like tusks. Like I was like, this place is super controversial. They're like fucking up like a lot of it, like really precious things.
I mean, this happened so many years ago, so I'm going off of memory, and I think I'm accurate so far.
Yeah.
But
That burnt wood technique is sometimes called shusugiban.
I thought you
It could be
sneezed.
shusugiban.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Shusugiban. We did some of that at that house in Ransom.
Is that
actually.
just
But
a
it
simple kind of like a blowtorch thing, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, you blow torch it, you wire brush it, and then you finish it with like oil or something. On
Okay.
Top. Yeah, traditionally linseed oil. Yeah,
got a
yeah.
big
That's
type
like
of
we
it.
were actually burning it like the traditional way too, where basically you take like 3 boards and you put them together lengthwise into like a really long like prism shape.
Yeah.
You know? And then you stuff one end with like newspaper or whatever flammable material, and then you light that on fire, and it like it sucks the flames through the tube that you've made, and then you like break it apart.
That's
to
cool,
put it
man.
out. Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
But blowtorch is much more efficient. We learned on the second time we did it.
That's pretty neat,
Yeah.
man.
So anyway.
I wish I had that skill.
Well, you could do that. You could burn some wood and brush it, and I'll teach you how. You can come to the shop.
Okay.
And I'll give you like a lesson. It'll take 5 minutes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You have access to a shop, and you don't have to kill anyone.
Yeah.
There you go. Done.
Just don't kill me if you like my shop a lot.
So the prettiest place I've ever seen in my life was Lisbon, Portugal.
I've been there. Well, no, I flew into Lisbon. That's like the main city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I and then I traveled to Setúbal,
Okay.
south of
I've
there.
never been there.
Yeah, it's like not far away.
Was it
But-
similar though?
I didn't do any like spend any time in Lisbon. We just
Okay.
flew in and drove down. But tell us about it.
I almost cried. Like when the carrier was coming in, we have to be. I think we were like 4 miles out, and you could see to the floor, the seafloor. It was
Oh.
like this green, but it was so damn clear. It was like it was out of a movie, and the sand was like black, like that ash black, and like that just regular sand kind of like mixed and stuff like that. The city, half of it was like made of granite.
Yeah.
And like it was absolutely amazing. And the people there would give you the shirt off their back. They
Yeah.
had Super Bach on tap at McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah, most places did.
Yeah. What year were you there?
Give me a minute. I don't know if it was the first or second one. I think it was the second deployment. So 2010 or 11. It was one of those.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that place really. I've been to Marseille, France, Napoli, Italy, Italia, Turkey, Dubai, Bahrain, and oh man, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Mayport, Florida.
that didn't win the most beautiful.
No, it was hot, sticky, and gross. And, but we were doing like we have to qualifications and stuff like that, and like we took a break and pulled into Mayport, Florida for a weekend. And my whole department, I worked in a reactor. We like rented out a whole hotel room and drank and had a great time. And but I don't know, Florida's so hot. It's just
Yeah.
hot and sticky. Like I know people that are like, yeah, we're gonna move down to Florida. I think eventually we're gonna sell the house and just move down south. I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why? It's so hot.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
Air
know.
conditioning, I guess.
It's like
They don't
today,
mind sitting inside
all
all
the
day
time.
long.
Today was rough, man.
Yeah, today was rough.
Today was rough. I got to work at 7:10, drenched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Under these conditions, it's insta sweat.
I was in the finish booth all day long, just like applying black paint to cabinet like box parts,
Okay.
and I did it all day. And the shop was cool when I started, like just holding on to the cool air from the night. But like as soon as I turn on the fan pulls like 1700 CFM a minute.
Yeah.
So like within within a couple minutes, maybe like 50% of the air in the shop is replaced with whatever's outside. And it's like, so like it was like immediately 90 degrees, like immediately. So I'd be spraying, and then I'd like walk in front of where the draft is pulling like the overspray off, and the air, like it just felt like I was in some sort of like like oven, and it was like filling up with hot air. It was rough. But actually, like, I enjoy sweating when I work. It's like one time I don't mind sweating.
I'm the same way, but there's a limit.
Yeah.
It's like you're exhausted because your body's trying to sweat.
It's tiring.
Yeah,
It is
like it's
tiring.
just like, ugh.
Well, I got home, I worked out, then I came over here. And by the time I got here, then I went to my parents' house to pick up my dog, and my little nephew was there. And every time I see him, like, I can't even make it into the house. He's like bursting through the front door to like fight me. So we just wrestled for like 20 minutes. Then I came over here, and I was like sitting out back waiting for you to come, and I was just like, oh man, I don't even know if I have the energy for conversation.
You have to like build up a tolerance to the heat.
Yeah.
You have to get so used to it. Like, I lived in North Carolina, and it would be like the low would be 80, 85, and you wouldn't even think of that as being weird.
Oh yeah.
But now it's like, oh, it touches 90, and we're like, this is terrible. I don't want to do anything. I'm staying inside all day. I don't care. Like, give me the AC.
I totally get it, because like I've in the Navy, I definitely had to adjust to wherever I was, and like being on the boat in the ocean where like the walls are sweating, and you're in the Gulf, and the flight deck, because the jets are constantly taking off, it's like 160 degrees on the flight deck.
Well.
And it's just like, it's a whole environment, but you get used to it. You know, just like anything else in the world. I totally understand that.
Humans
but like,
are adaptable.
Yeah. No, I just don't see myself. I'd be sweating like a pig every day. I don't think my body would ever adjust to Florida. I would die.
You go to Florida to die. That's what.
I mean, hey, yeah, you're not wrong.
So it doesn't matter how long it takes. But I have two questions.
Sorry,
Or I'll just
sorry to
ask
the
you
all
one
the
question. If I
Floridians.
remember the other question, I'll ask
All right.
that too. You said you worked in a reactor,
Yeah.
so you were working like within the proximity of a nuclear reactor. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that like?
I mean, I don't know if I could talk too much about it. I
Yeah.
worked in I was an engine man.
Mhm.
So it's a funny story about this. When I was talking to my recruiter, I originally wanted to be what they call a CB, and it was guys that were just maintenance guys that worked on convoy, like heavy Humvees and like heavy vehicles and stuff like that. And they told me that they call careers in the military rates, or the Navy at least, and he told me it was all locked up. I would never make promotion. I would never move up in rank. There's too many people in that career. You have to choose a different path.
Yeah.
So he's like, why don't you be an engine man? And I'm like, well, I don't want to be on a boat. And he's like, oh man, you ain't got to worry about that, dude. Like, you're just going to be like, oh man, maybe you'll be on like a minesweeper, but those guys are always in port. They're never out in the ocean. You'll never see a boat. Carrier.
Living on a city in the ocean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the reactor has an RA division, which handles, there's these big two-stroke 16-cylinder V-block motors. Each one is the size of this house, and there's 4 of them.
Mhm.
And the turbo is like the size of like your truck. It's $350,000 for the turbo alone.
Wow.
And but it's just this big marine engine, and it acts as a generator basically, and it just in case the reactors at some point take a shit, those the diesel engines will come online and support power until we figure out what's wrong with the reactors.
Yeah.
So that's where I fell in line. I never went to school where I wanted to go originally. Well, I didn't want to be a reactor when I came in, but like as I worked in reactor when I was on the carrier, I wanted that because those guys got paid much more gloriously than I would ever get paid.
Yeah.
And when it came to my re-enlistment, I actually wanted to go to school to be in reactor, and they shot me down. Like, well, I mean, you already know what you're doing. You're essentially cheap labor. Why would we want to do that? And I was
Yeah.
like, well, then I'm getting out. I'm done.
Yeah.
So, but it's long. Like we're first on and last off because it takes a while to get the reactors cooking, get everything all ready to roll, and then we're last off. We have to cool everything down, and it sucks. So
the reactor's not on all the time.
I mean, yeah, but like
Oh.
it's not essentially like shore power and stuff would be hooked up to a pier, so like a lot of systems would rely on whatever we're plugged. Like it would rely on shore power, so like the reactors don't have to work as much.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. Like
You don't have
FBI
to,
might
really.
blow through that window and just shoot me right now. I don't know.
My uncle is in the military, and he once told me we once had a conversation about what he did while we were on a walk in the woods.
Oh, okay.
And at one point in the conversation, I was like, "Wait, stop! Like, should I turn my phone off? Like, are we safe? Like, you're telling me some shit right now that like it's wild." And so maybe he'll come on and talk about it because he didn't seem to care. He wasn't worried about it. But I'm not trying to like.
Open the
You know,
No, you're fine.
yeah, you don't have to talk about it at all because I have
No,
other questions
no.
that are unrelated to nuclear
At one
reactors.
point in my life, like I had top secret clearance
Yeah.
because I was dealing with all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's funny that we're talking about this because like I had a friend that worked in he worked in a specific department on the ship, and we were really good drinking buddies. And he worked in something that was completely different from my job, like 2 different jobs. But like we met somehow and became really good friends. So at one point in time, I got out. He was still in. He gave me a call one day, and he's like, "You may get someone like some attention." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, I'm getting restationed to the Magic Mountain in Colorado, the Mystery Mountain."
I'd never heard of that.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like I forget the name of
I
the
like
place,
it.
but he made a joke of it. It's like this big top secret base that like you need
Yeah.
pretty high fucking clearance to work in there,
Yeah.
and it's in a mountain. He's like, "You may be getting flagged, or like FBI may be trying to like, I just don't want you to freak out. They're just going to interrogate you about me."
Yeah.
So they found me. I was going to Lackawanna College. I did like a semester there, and some lady in a suit walked right up to me out of nowhere. Nobody knew where I was. I was getting ready to walk into the building, and she's like, "Oh, excuse me, Tyler Zeiss," and I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "Oh, I'm with the FBI, an investigator unit, blah blah blah. I need to sit you down and just want to talk to you about some things." And I'm like, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, creepy suit lady.
Well, I knew it was about my friend.
Yeah.
Because he gave
So
you the heads up.
she started asking me questions. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know the aliens are real. He told me everything. It's okay." It turned into a really funny thing. She actually had a good sense of humor about it, but I'm like, yeah, he's a good guy. He doesn't tell me things that I shouldn't know and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But like they do that, like to get, because like he went higher in clearance, so they went deeper into his shit, and like anybody he ever talked to, they pulled them in and they asked some questions and interrogated him, and it was like. It's no joke. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like I thought it was a cool process. It freaked the shit out of me because like, how do they know where I was?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She must have been like.
Unless I'm
She must have
thinking
been
too hard.
tailing it.
I mean, I had a Facebook account too, so maybe I posted like, "Hey, I'm going to class. Fuck you guys." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Or she was like, she just knew your schedule.
She might have.
That would be pretty. that
Maybe
would
she's
be
still
easy.
watching me now.
She's listening.
She might be.
But you're not. They don't care about you.
Do they though?
I don't know.
Hi, Sue
Do
Lady.
they? What do they know? What do they know? What have you done? What are your secrets, Tyler?
I ain't got no secrets.
That's all right. My uncle will come on and he'll give us some good ones. Like after the conversation with him, I went back to my like mom and my brother and my sister, and I was like, "Yo, this is what Uncle Scott told me. Like, can you fucking believe it?" And they were all just like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No. If I told you this and it wasn't true, you'd be like, you're crazy." Like you're just being like that because like I don't know, maybe you don't believe me, but like it came from his mouth and I trust him. So if he gets on here to talk about some stuff, you'll have to listen in. It's
Okay,
interesting.
yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting. Anyway, my other
anyway,
question.
hit
Or
me.
do you have one? Do you want to get one in?
No, I was just gonna say you have to subscribe because when we get 50 subscribers, I'm getting a nipple piercing
Mm-hmm.
by Jeff.
Oh.
That was the.
Jeff's gonna do it on live.
Yeah, we'll do it live. Whatever.
Yeah.
Jeff just pierced my girlfriend's nose. Yeah, I make fun of her. I call it a midlife crisis because she had that piercing in high school. Now
Oh,
she's bringing it back.
yeah.
So I thought it was
Which
pretty
one?
funny.
Which nose?
Which nose?
Like no, like which part? Which nose piercing?
pretty
I
sure
have
there's
to
only
think.
one.
This side.
Oh,
Yeah.
It wasn't the septum. It was the.
No,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
pushing for that. I'm like, get the bull ring, get in there. She don't want that.
No, that's intense. Yeah, my other question was I want to know like, did you ever go out on the deck of the aircraft carrier in the middle of the night? Was it ever quiet up there?
No.
Oh really?
Mm-mm.
Was there anywhere quiet where you could like go and look at the stars or anything? Did you ever see like just amazing like
Yes.
views
So,
of the stars and things?
It's a yes and a no. So like when we're on deployment, that ship is fully loaded, packed, and ready to go. There is aircraft from front to back. Even in the hangar base, there's all different kinds of aircraft. I don't know if I'm allowed to even like classify all of them, but like, yeah, a place is fully packed, and they're constantly running trials and runs and qualifications and touch and goes. I'll call it when like a jet will come down, touch the flight deck, and take back off. And but we're not allowed to be up there because there's cables that stretch across, and those jets have hooks that come down, and that hook will catch the cable and it'll slow down.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of stuff going on up there.
Yeah.
They have guys in different color jerseys that handle different jobs in the flight deck, and everyone is in constant communication. I don't see daylight much.
Oh, really?
You know, I mean, we work down under decks.
Yeah.
Like, we have no reason, unless I'm smoking, which I picked up when I joined the military.
Just to get out of the
Yes.
engine room.
Yeah. There'll be a smoke deck on the side of the ship where you can peek out and you can see the ocean. And you can, you know.
Yeah.
And then depending on your schedule of your day, because like you stand watch too, there are nights where everything is magical. Like you walk out and the ocean, and like, because there's no light, there's no cities, there ain't nothing. It's just the sky, and it's like fucking Avatar.
Yeah.
Like it's just everything is like together. The ocean and the sky and the stars and the fucking moon. Like it's really hard to explain. I don't think a camera can even do the justice.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's really, really pretty. And
I want to see that someday.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you don't need a carrier to see that.
Yeah, I could just go out on a boat.
But
I want that opportunity. World.
That's
universe.
something I didn't expect when I came in the military. I didn't really, but seeing that was cool. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, my dad was a marine engineer.
Okay.
So he like worked in the engine rooms of like carrier container ships and stuff.
Yeah.
And for many years he traveled around the world just like in the engine rooms of these ships, and he would like mention, you know, like some like times he would be able to go out on the deck and just like look up at the sky, and like the ocean and the sky were the same color. Like you couldn't tell, the ocean's just black and the sky is black and there's just stars and like there's nothing else. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds pretty amazing. The closest I ever get to that is like the beach at night, but there's always light pollution, so it's like a little different. But when you like, the feeling I get, especially if I'm a little bit stoned or a lot of it stoned, is like I'll be standing at the shore and I'll just like, because at night basically the sky disappears. You know, the sky's there all day long. It makes us feel like we're inside of something. And then at night the sky just goes away and it's just us and then space. Like there's nothing in between, like the air in between you can't see at night. So it's just like, you're just like, wow, yeah, we're just floating through space.
Yeah. Makes you feel
pretty
smaller.
magical. It does, yeah. But it like makes me feel like good though. Like I think some people get like crushed by those types of like realizations, and me, it's like it's almost just like wondrous.
I mean, I do in some aspect, because like, don't you wish you were out there? You see all these like, I'm a huge sci-fi nut.
Yeah.
And like, I love sci-fi movies. I love sci-fi video games and books and stuff like that. But like, that just makes me madder in life, because like, I'm not going to get on my spaceship and go to a different solar system.
Yeah.
I'll never see that.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost hurts my feelings. But I don't know.
I get that. But like the way, I don't like romanticize about space much, because the way I see it is like most of the time when you're in space, you're like inside of a little box. Like you step out of that box, you have to be inside of a suit. And it's just like, you're never really like in contact with like the air and the surrounding environment. You're always separated from it, unless you were going to travel to a planet that was like so close to our planet you could actually step outside and be perfectly fine.
Right.
That'd be cool to see a planet like that. But at the same time, I have not seen very much of Earth yet, and like I doubt I'll see all of it. So I don't need to go to space. I can explore. I can like travel and explore on Earth.
Yeah.
You
Probably
know.
seen such a small percentage of like northeastern Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because like, I've never gotten into off-roading, and since Jason started it,
yeah. How long has he been doing that, by the way?
a year?
Should we like mention it? Is it something you're trying to grow or no?
I mean, I
Or
don't
is it
know.
more
Like,
private?
we're just a couple of like guys that want to just go and find like places to like go on trails and stuff like that. But like,
Yeah.
because of Jason's, like, I wonder where that trail leads.
Yeah.
That led to, like, all of us now getting toys and going and following Jason. Like, we're going to these woods. I'm seeing parts of NEPA
Yeah.
I've lived here my whole life I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is amazing. Like that trip I went on 3-4 weeks ago, whatever it was, with you guys was awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, I mean, like a lot of Northeast PA is like the same, right? It's like it's all kind of the same, but everywhere you go is a unique spot. Like that spot we went swimming and you could jump in and
Yeah.
like it's just like, or like we stopped at like that water the water pit, the
Yeah.
the car crusher, or what do you want to call it?
It just claims Jeeps. Dumbasses like me and other people just go through it and hope for the best.
It's
but-
called the Jeep Wrangler.
more or less.
But then after that, we went to that other spot where we like sat down. That guy played his guitar for a little while.
The dam.
yeah,
dam that was dried up,
Yeah,
there's
the
no
dried up
water.
dam.
Yeah.
Does it usually have water in it?
It did at one
Oh, really?
point. Yeah, but
Oh.
then it got I don't know. I think it got closed down. The water was gone, and then
Yeah.
it dried out.
Yeah,
And then we went to the winery,
the winery.
which was
What was that
awesome.
called?
Oh man, Lopez
Lopez
something?
Winery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lopez,
yeah.
And then we
Which
ended
was
up at
cool.
the Tombstone.
Interesting place. And then the Tombstone.
Yep.
Another interesting place.
Yeah,
Food, meh.
I
Tombstone.
never knew any of those places existed.
Yeah, me neither.
Never.
Never heard of it.
And we're like 40 minutes from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it felt like it was out in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
Really did.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That just shows how small we are.
Yeah. I know. So,
Awesome.
yeah, so forget about space.
I can't forget about space.
Well, don't
man.
forget about space, but forget about going.
Photon torpedoes.
Better live a long time. Well, actually, though, they probably exist, according to my uncle.
According to who?
My uncle.
Oh,
Is everything a
No.
simulation?
A simulation is a
Okay.
part of the
I
story.
know some people that think that way. Everything's a simulation.
It's not that. It's not like a theory about like the nature of reality or anything like that. It was like a simulation was a part of his experience
Okay,
in the military.
gotcha.
So,
fair enough.
but I shouldn't even mention it if I can't.
He's awfully
elaborate.
quiet. Does he talk too, or
Yeah.
you want to talk about stuff?
Whatever.
Yeah, talk. I'm gonna go grab another beer.
I was just gonna ask if you wanted.
No, give Zach a chance to talk. You want another one? I assume.
Sure, I'll take one. This was really good, actually.
what is it called?
Party forward.
Party forward?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
It's a very intriguing can.
I know that's
It
why
pulls
I
you
like
in.
it. Yeah. Oh, and it's even got
It's,
special lids.
I think I stole these. Well, I definitely stole them from my my parents' fridge, but I think I stole them from my sister and maybe her boyfriend.
Sorry, Gabs.
So, thanks, Gabs.
Sorry. and
Not
thanks.
sorry. Thank you. They were.
No.
I've seen them in there. I think for a little while. So, if you snooze, you lose.
But no, I generally don't talk that much.
Do you like sci-fi? Can I ask you that?
Not really.
Okay. What do you like that's like sci-fi? Like what's something that you would enjoy watching or
Oh man, that's tough. Like
it is tough.
because
Sci-fi? Well, what about like Donnie Darko? That's science
Yeah.
fiction.
But I just,
Fantasy.
like,
It's more fantasy.
never seen Star Trek, never
both.
seen Star Wars. I'm like out of the loop.
It's funny that you mention that because I was in the same boat as you. I wasn't really big into Star Wars. I've seen Star Wars, but I never really liked it, and I didn't like Star Trek. There's other sci-fis out there like that.
I wanna
like,
hear what you
I'm more
got.
of a video game nut. Like I like Halo.
Yeah.
We used to play a lot of Halo
There you go. Me
back
too.
in the day.
And games like Mass Effect, which is like a whole that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I don't know.
So, Halo, did you used to play a long time ago?
Yeah.
Or still.
Like, did you play Halo on Xbox One? Not Xbox One, Xbox.
Yes.
Halo
fir-
1
the
on
first-
Xbox.
I was part of the
Oh, going down.
I was part of the group of friends that would form Halo parties and hook up shitty TVs.
That's what
and
we used to do.
Yeah.
Don't screen watch. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I was part of that life.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
It was.
I loved that.
it was yeah.
That's like
I made friends
it's
and
a
lost
dying.
friends.
It's a dying thing. I don't think we ever lost friends over it. We
We weren't good enough.
Now,
It wasn't
how-
like super
I
competitive.
don't think we
how-
were good
If you
enough.
mind me asking, how old are you guys?
We're 35.
All right, so you're older than me. I'm 32.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever hear of the underground or the teen center that was on Grove Street?
Hmm.
Was
Okay.
that the
Yeah,
annex?
What's that?
Was that like the annex building?
That white building?
of the Grove Street Elementary School.
Like,
Yeah.
there's the brick building that's now the administrative building.
Right. It's the building like right up top.
Yes.
Yeah.
That used to be
It's
the
like a
underground.
white
Yeah, they used
like
to have
cement
like bands
building
play
or whatever.
there.
And Halo tournaments.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I used to do that all the
I
time.
used to go see those.
Oh,
guys
that'd
there.
have been cool.
The Menzingers.
Men's
I've
Singers?
heard of them. I never saw them play.
They played there?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Wow, that's so random.
I mean, they were just a
That's crazy.
band
That's
starting
such
out.
a small like.
So
That's
small.
really the beginning. If you're talking about any band,
Yeah, it was
like
small.
playing for a bunch of teenagers in a youth center,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
I remember we
crazy.
went to
That's
a-
so cool.
We
that
went
you
to a
you saw
house
them.
party. And
That's pretty
me
sweet,
and two
too.
Ryans went. We went to the house party. It wasn't like a house party. There was like a kid whose parents may have been there, and they were like, "Hey, we want you to play in the basement." They were like, "Okay, cool." So we decided to go, and we were 21 at the time, so we were like, "Oh, should we bring beer in?" I'm like, nah. If we want to, we'll bring it in later. We get down to the basement. Everyone there was like 14. We're like, oh my god! Thank God we did not bring beer into this household right
Oh
now. I would
my
have felt-
God.
I already feel out of place. I would have felt real out of place.
You didn't know the people.
No, I didn't know whose house.
You just
it was,
heard that from the band itself. They
Yeah.
were playing there, and it was an open invite.
pretty much.
I was one of the nerds. I played Magic and Halo, and like I did all that stuff at that teen center all the time growing up. That
That's
was like
cool.
that was my only way to socialize with people, with like kids in my.
Because you were out in like the middle of nowhere, basically.
Well,
far
I
enough
had a
apart.
group of friends out there, but like I don't know, it was like to connect even more with the grades and
Yeah.
like the people in Abington.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, we played a lot of Halo. We used to like. One time we played in my parents' basement. We hooked up all the TVs, and like I played like with my one friend all day long, like
Mhm.
just on campaign mode, like all day, like literally from like when we woke up until like nighttime when everybody else showed up.
Yeah.
And then we all played, multiplayer, with the landlines till the sun rose the next day. And I tried to go to sleep like after everybody left, and I couldn't sleep because every time I closed my eyes, I was just immersed fully in the Halo world, like fighting battles. Like it was like burned into the backs of my eyelids, and like the actual, it was like so vivid. I was like, oh, how am I supposed to sleep? I'm at war right now, It's like ridiculous. I can't like. It took hours for it to like fade away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still game?
Yeah. I when I was saying Mass Effect earlier, they came out with a trilogy years ago, and they just came out with a legendary remaster version of the trilogy, and it's all about choice. There's different endings, different choices, and stuff like that, and how you play the three games. And but it's all about like you're in a spaceship, and it's like a montage. You're going around, you're getting other guys. Like, we got to stop this guy. Like, you gonna join me? You gonna join me? Oh, you're a different race. Like it's like building the space A team, more or less.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
it's a whole thing. It's a lot of fun.
It's
Like,
multiplayer.
it used to be, not now
Oh.
though. It was an old trilogy. The last game that came out was in 2012, and then now years later they're coming out. They want to make like they want to jump back on the train and make a new one.
Hmm.
And I don't know. It's a whole thing. There used to be multiplayer, but now it's just single.
It's
single
basically like
player.
it's an RPG,
Yes.
a
Absolutely.
sci-fi RPG.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love RPGs, but I never got into sci-fi RPGs. I don't know. They're
What was the
like
game you played a lot of?
I played Oblivion and Skyrim.
Skyrim.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was a big Skyrim nut. Fallout was another one too.
Fallout. Oh, I enjoyed Fallout. Yeah, that would be like that.
Was the
That
new
was
one 76 or something? Was there a Fallout 76?
Fallout 76 was an online attempt to make
Okay.
like an online Fallout,
yeah.
and it burned to the ground. Now, I am not a very knowledgeable person. I know many others that would they see this video, they're going to be like, you know nothing, Tyler Zeiss.
Cool.
But
He doesn't claim to. People. Chill.
they essentially are not. They didn't. It was so unsuccessful. There was so much promise. It was one of those situations like this is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then it came out and like this is just terrible, and it backfired and it glitched and people lost money so they're still trying to come back from that, and I think they are. They're going to make another comeback and do it right, hopefully. But yeah, that was
Learn from the mistakes.
trial by error. It is what it is. People hate so much when they try to release a game and like there's an issue with it, like, oh, this thing's junk, horrible. Like, give them a chance, you know? I don't know.
What about sci-fi film? Like, what are you're like a fan of like just games or also like movies, books? Or
I love all sci-fi, and my favorite movie probably to this day was Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that was really good.
I really like that movie from beginning to end.
Yeah.
I get made fun of for it because
Why?
Matthew McConaughey.
What's wrong with Matthew McConaughey?
All right. Like, are you kidding me?
I mean, he's. I guess. I think he's fucking awesome. I would hang out with him.
I would too.
100%. He
Honestly.
seems really cool.
He seems like so chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's in good movies, generally speaking.
I must have the wrong friends because I get
You do.
shit for it. Like,
Yeah, you
it's
got the
like,
wrong
oh, man,
friends.
come on, Interstellar. It's too long. Oh, it's so stupid, and this happens, and like I don't know. I get picked
Yeah.
apart half the time. So
I knew a lot of people that they got a little bit grumpy about that movie for whatever reason.
I
But
fell in love with it. I saw
I
it
think-
twice in the theater.
yeah, I think I might have too. I liked it a lot.
I did too.
I watch it every now and then. Even I just love because it really does a good job of encapsulating like that. Like it can give you that sort of feeling you get like when you're standing on the shore
Yeah.
at night looking at the stars and you're just like, whoa, we're so small. Like it's just like what's going on in the universe, like the physics that are involved and everything. You're just like, holy
Yeah.
fucking shit. And to write a pretty decent story around all that, and like it's a good movie. Like fantastic visuals, really cool science and like physics and like pretty interesting ideas about what might be on the inside of a black hole. That's the part where some people are just like, what? But you're like, well, you come up with an idea. You know what I mean? Come up with an idea you can put on film. Like they did a good job, I thought.
Have you ever seen? Man, all right, I'm gonna start ripping into my memory a little bit. That funny movie that came out where it was based around like puppets, Team America.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. There's one part when they bring Matt Damon to life from the what do you call it? Oh shit.
Suspended animation.
Yeah, when he goes into the deep sleep.
You're talking about in Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yeah, when they bring him out. Yeah.
But
Oh, that's another
every
part,
time they wake
actually.
him up, the first thing that hits my mind is Matt Damon.
It's just stuck in your head forever.
Makes me. I can't watch the Bourne movies at all.
And I
I
like
can't
those.
get through it. Yeah,
I love those movies.
That's hilarious.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
That movie just. it
Dude, there's
tainted
so much
me.
about that
It's
movie
just-
that's so good. It's so good.
They ruined a lot of stuff.
It did. It really did.
Even from all the things on like South Park that they did. Like it's just like things that are just ingrained in your.
It was the same creators.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes a
South
lot
Park is epic. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
I think they did. I think they had like a really good sweet. I haven't watched it in years, but there was like a point where I was watching it. I was like, oh, they've like mastered their craft. They mastered the hitting on topics that are relevant right now.
They always push the envelope,
Oh, I loved
and
it.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, there was one episode I watched, and I just like remember standing up after and clapping. Like, just me in my room, just like that was awesome, guys. Like you'll never know, but I just wanted to let you know, put it out in the world. And I was like, that was perfect.
Yeah, they are phenomenal.
Yeah, I loved it. And then I stopped watching. And I was like, all right, that's.
That was the finale.
I'm
for
walking
Zach.
away before it gets bad.
It can never get better than this moment.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like Boondock Saints 2.
Oh.
I never watched it.
Wait, what? Oh, cause like, yeah.
I knew.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
liked-
yeah. No
I-
interest whatsoever.
I
No
liked the
interest.
first one so much. We
And
used
there's
to
not even
watch that.
room for like. It's not even a movie that's like a sequel makes
worthy
sense.
of a sequel.
Is
It
it
was
what?
not.
No.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I'm sure it
but
was terrible.
watch
Did you see it?
The first one or the second one?
The second
Second
one.
one.
I saw both,
Oh.
and I was extremely, like, my feelings were hurt. The second one, they threw so much cheese into it, and it's just kind of like, why did you do this to me?
I'm glad.
Is it the same
love
actors?
this. Yeah, there's
It
a
is.
couple other actors and actresses that they did.
But the
and-
two guys are the same.
Yes,
Mm.
but just the plot, whoever directed it, whoever wrote the scripts,
Yeah.
die. Like, it was so.
It seems like it's weird though, because like him and I both were big Boondocks fans. You know, like we were big fans of that movie in high school. Like we would definitely
Same.
watch it every now and then.
Yeah.
And and for neither of us to even consider even watching the second one, that just tells you like there's something really really bad about that thing that like a fan doesn't even want to. Usually a fan will just be like, all right, like I'll watch the second one, like it's probably gonna suck, but like to just not straight up not watch it. That means there's something. It's like radiating shittiness into the universe.
Man, and like the amount of times that I've quoted that movie in my life is insane. And like you said, not even I never
even considered it either. I've seen it. I'm like,
I was like,
yeah,
oh,
right.
There's no chance I'm gonna watch it. I was like, I know it's gonna be terrible, so I'm not even gonna attempt it.
yeah. And I've watched a lot of sequels like that I knew were gonna be terrible,
Yeah.
but not that one. I was just like, nah,
What are you
fuck
gonna use
that.
that
I'm like,
stupid fucking rope for?
Is it dead?
I will shoot myself. Your precious little what, bitch?
we watched Coffee and Cigarettes the other day.
Oh God, I haven't watched that in forever.
Have you ever seen it?
I have not.
That's a really weird movie.
It is, yeah. It's like this, like kind of like art house type. I don't know if it's like art. What's art house? Whatever. It's like black and white. It's like definitely like low budget, probably independent film, but it has like a lot of
like Clerks?
Well, it's not like Clerks, but it's like
personal.
Okay.
yeah, it's like
more like
basically it's like a bunch of individual scenes
Okay.
that are unrelated, except for the fact that like they take place like in a cafe or like at a restaurant over coffee and cigarettes.
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of like interesting.
Bill Murray's in it.
Bill Murray's in it. Iggy Pop.
Really?
Yeah.
think
What's
some
the guy's name?
Some of the Wu-Tang members. are in
Tom Waits. The Wu-Tang guys
Some
are in
big
it.
names you're dropping. When did this come out?
In like 2001 maybe
Oh,
or
okay.
around there.
I gotcha.
there. Yeah.
You should check it out. It's on YouTube for free.
Okay.
Anybody listening, if
Coffee
you're
and
interested,
Cigarettes.
it's called Coffee and Cigarettes. It's on
Coffee and
YouTube
Cigarettes. I'll
for
check it
free. But it's good. It's like casual,
Yeah.
It's like it's just people talking. Philosophical things come up. It's goofy. It's funny. I fell asleep.
The most recent time.
The
you
most
watched?
recent time. Yeah.
Every time.
I didn't make it. No, not every
time I
time.
watch it, I fall asleep.
I used to put on. Well, speaking of sci-fi and falling asleep during movies, in college, sometimes if I was having a hard time falling asleep, I would put on Blade Runner, the director's cut, and I'd be out within 20 minutes every time.
I never saw the original Blade Runner until the sequel came out.
You saw it after the sequel, or did you watch it
When
first?
the sequel came out with Ryan Gosling, I'm like, all right, I want to dedicate myself and try it out, and I was blown away.
By
I
the
thought it
new
was-
one.
By the old
Oh,
one.
by the old one, yeah.
And then
it's a good movie.
It is.
Story.
And it brought me into. It brought me in. Now I watched the Ryan Gosling version, and it's just like I loved the whole story. I loved the
Yeah.
timeline, that universe.
Yeah,
It was really
yeah.
amazing to me. I'm not a fan of Jared Leto. I'm not sure why.
In general,
I
Or,
don't
like,
know. Like
in that movie.
in the movie, it was really strange. But like, I don't know if you guys saw Suicide Squad when he was Joker.
Yeah.
That was disappointing.
I wasn't really a big fan, but
I don't know.
I thought it was a pretty lame
I try not to
Joker.
like, dislike people, but like, it just happens.
What do you like him in anything? I'm trying to think of something I like him in.
No. Isn't there a
Was he-
Morpheus? Mobius? Maybe it's Mobius. There's supposed to be like a sci-fi movie.
Requiem?
Well, I was gonna say, was he in Requiem?
Yeah.
Have you seen Requiem for a Dream?
I have not.
Oh God, you better watch it.
So
He's in it,
He's
and
in his
he-
prime in this.
Oh God, it's a really good performance. It's a really disturbing movie.
Requiem. What?
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll text it to you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll
It's
check
like
it out.
prepare yourself though, because like you're going to want to
Right.
take a shower
Like,
after
like,
it's over.
You get one more
and
chance, Jared Leto.
You'll probably like him in it, but the movie is like something to be prepared for. It will like make you feel things.
Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
interesting movie. That was like a run of movies that were in that time frame that we
Yeah.
would watch a lot.
Like Donnie
Okay.
Darko,
Yeah,
Was
Donnie
up
Darko
there.
was a big one. Memento,
Memento, yeah.
and then what was the Keanu Reeves movie?
Constantine?
Like what
It was-
happened
I
in
think
it?
it was like a very animated movie.
Oh, Waking Life. Yeah.
When did that come out?
Probably the same time
Right
period.
around, like,
I would imagine it
2000,
came out
early
when we were
2000s.
watching it.
Jesus, I'm sheltered.
Yeah, well, these are like good movies. They're very different. And Vanilla Sky.
Was that Jim Carrey?
No, that was Tom Cruise, Tom Cruise, Penelope Cruz, Cameron Diaz. That's me texting you. I'm just
Oh, okay.
shooting you a list of
Just
to watch
a list of
things to watch.
Someone just randomly said "Waking Life," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
You're actually there's this potential that we're all asleep right now. One of us has died and been put into cryostasis and is being fed like a simulated reality through like some sort of technology.
The person that died.
One of us.
It could be one of us.
And the rest of
going
us
off-
could just
he's-
be like figments of their imagination.
The reason why I
we're-
say
we're
this-
in a simulation, apparently.
Somebody fucked me up with this because he's like, "How do you know that we're not in a simulation?" And I'm like, "I don't think we're in a simulation. I mean, I feel things, I experience things." He's like, "When do your neighbors ever come home with groceries?" I was broken after that because I've never seen my neighbors come home with groceries
Huh.
ever, unless it's just something my mind has not like really like. Hey,
Yeah.
your neighbors have groceries over there.
Hmm.
That messed me up for a minute.
But everybody's at the grocery store.
Again,
Follow them home.
again, even
That's not creepy, though.
you take a day. You take a day off of
You
work.
should follow people home from the store.
Just
I'm
making
not
sure
gonna-
we're not in a
I'm not
simulation
gonna
here.
do
Don't worry.
I'm not going to do that. But one thing, another thing I noticed is like, and this is me overthinking. I overthink. You take a day off. Last Friday, I took a vacation day. I'm like, I'm just going to burn this day. I'm going to do some stuff. I'm running errands. The traffic is insane. Everybody's supposed to be at work. Like, that's one thing, I don't know.
I thought that too before, but then I've worked like in the restaurant industry where I know like I'm driving around during the day doing shit, you know.
Yeah.
And like there's so many random jobs out there. You have no idea what anybody's doing or what their schedule is.
For sure.
The one that always
Yeah.
gets me, like when you come up the hill in Clark Summit, past Formosa, it'll
Yeah.
be like 9 o'clock at night, and it's packed. I'm like, what the hell? Where are you going?
Texas Roadhouse. Every night. That parking lot is packed. Either there is that's people really need their steak, but like that, every time. Like every once in a blue moon, I think me or Jen, every 3 months, be like, let's go to Texas Roadhouse. We'll go there.
Yeah.
To the
So
brim, that
packed.
place is packed.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That
Good
doesn't
for
make
them.
sense.
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing right, but they're doing something right.
I guess.
They got some damn good steaks.
There's probably
I don't know.
crack in it or something.
Crack steaks?
Crack steaks, cracked pepper,
Oh, that's how they.
cracked black.
You guys wanna
pepper.
go on a food
black
truck?
Pepper. Let's all go get fucked up at Texas Roadhouse.
That's probably just what's happening.
We're gonna get addicted. Something that you guys said. Oh, well, the busyness of things all the time.
Mhm.
It's like it never, like everybody's like, oh, New York, the city that never sleeps. But like nowhere fucking sleeps. There's like everywhere you go. I mean, sometimes around here, if you get like out in the middle of the night, you can like see things really quiet. But remember the opening scene of 28 Days Later?
No. I don't know if
Have
I've
you seen
that
28
movie.
Days Later?
I always fuck it up with 28 Weeks Later.
Oh no, you got to watch 28 Days Later. 28 Weeks Later is
I may have seen both, but
garbage in comparison.
I can't
Well,
for the life of me.
he-
It's not. I can't remember.
He wakes up in a hospital bed, and like that's how the movie starts.
That's
He's
The
just like
Walking
naked.
Dead.
No, maybe that's how that starts. Was he naked in The Walking Dead?
Oh no,
No.
you had a
Yeah, his
the robot.
beard and his pubes are all grown out for like realism, but he's like straight up naked. It's Cillian Murphy, the guy that plays the Scarecrow in Batman Begins,
yes.
and he just like he wakes up in the hospital bed and there's like nobody around, like nothing's beeping. It's just nobody's around.
Silence.
So he like pulls the things out of his arms and like starts walking around the hospital, and the hospital's completely empty. Like the vending machines are like busted open and everything's all over the floors. And then like he walks out into like London and he starts like walking around the streets and like there's nobody anywhere,
Yeah.
like anywhere. And you just like, and he's in a major city, and like I mean I was really stoned when I watched this the first time in like high school, but I was just like, I was in the moment. I was like, holy fuck, this guy's like just woke up out of a coma and there's nobody left. Like, what's going through your mind? Like, what do? You know what I mean? You just like, you have to be going like,
I feel
he
like
didn't
there's
even
an
know he
there's
was like in an
initial
accident.
There's an initial shock, And then at some point you'd go like, I need food.
Yeah, you just switch. You just like, okay, I'm in a survival situation. So, but like, it still has to be like, there still has to be crazy shit going through your mind. Like, what happened? Where is everybody?
Yeah.
And then he gets attacked by zombies.
I mean, that's happened to me from like nights of drinking when you wake up and you're like, who am I? What happened? Yeah.
You've had some nights where like you had to piece it together from like other people's recollections.
A couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm generally the piecer together. People wake up and I'm like, do you want to know what happened last night? They're like, I'd rather not. I'm like, all right. It dies with me.
So when I came back, I graduated boot camp, came home for leave before I went to my station down in Virginia Beach, and I came home and like me and the girlfriend came to a realization. I'm like, hey, you do, I do me. So I was single and I was like in single mode. Like I just went straight like bachelor mode. I wanted to party. I came down to Virginia, got stationed, got processed into my ship. I found a whole bunch of guys I was friends with in boot camp down there with me on different ships and my ship. And one guy's like, dude, I already have a girlfriend and she's got this house and her parents are gone. They're just gone. So we can just crash this house and have a party. And I'm like, yes. So we did. And we had all these guys. There had to be like 25 guys there and maybe a handful of girls. But it just led to me just doing shots. Like, it came to a point where my one buddy I remember this. My one buddy kept pouring a shot, and then he would turn around and put the bottle away, and turn around, and the shot was gone. And I'm standing near him. So he pours the shot, puts it away, comes back, and he's like, whoa, whoa, and I'll pour another shot. To the point where I puked. Because I was trying to sneak the shots from him, and it was a massive failure on my part. I vomited so hard. But we played these games, and we trashed the place, and the girl said that the golden rule was to not go upstairs. We all stay on the first floor between the kitchen and the dining room, the living room. I broke that fucking rule, right? 25 guys, half the guys left. People that were too drunk to drive stayed. I stayed. I found myself the next morning waking up in a pink bed, all right? Like, I'm down on my boxers, my shirt. I'm passed out, just drool over this pink pillow. Right? This bed is ruined. Like there's probably vomit. I can't realize, but I wake up to sounds. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's all coming too. And I wake up and I look over. I see in the doorway there's this girl, and then I see parents, older people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know where I am. I have no recollection of anything. And so I'm like getting out of bed. I'm looking for my pants. They're all standing there talking to each other, whispering as they're watching me. Right? So I throw on the pants and I'm like, oh, excuse me. Yeah. And I go past past them in their hallway in their own fucking house. I came downstairs, got in my car, and drove away. I passed out in her little sister's room. Just this drunken sailor nobody. Completely wrecked it. And my buddy called me later, and he's like, "Dude, you suck." But that was just awful. And that was a situation like I woke up and I had no idea what was going on, who I was, where I was, pink bed. Yeah.
I don't remember this being my bed.
Right.
Did I get these sheets?
Yeah. Broke that rule. I needed comfort. My
Yeah.
drunk version of myself needed comfort.
I wonder what happened. Like if there's any consequences.
I never got in trouble.
Well, yeah.
I got in my car and drove
Figured
away, and that
not
was
for
that.
you. I wonder if that chick got
The
in trouble.
relationship ended.
Oh well, maybe you saved him.
Maybe I did.
Maybe you ruined his
I
life.
possibly did.
One or the other is true. Yeah, I didn't have too many. I mean, like I had some nights where I blacked out or like browned out, throughout college and high school and stuff. But I had one night in Philly, like where I like straight up blacked out, but like carried on for like many hours.
Really?
And didn't remember any of it until like I ran into people the next day, and like I'd run into somebody and they'd be like, "Yo, I saw you out." I'm like, "I found you like walking down the middle of Broad Street, just like yelling." And I was like, "Oh shit, that's not good." So like you came with us, like we went to the fried chicken place, and then you try to fight Mark, and then you like you try to make a phone call on the payphone, and then just ended up slamming it against the thing, and then then you were gone, and then then I'd run into somebody else later in the day, they'd be like, oh my, you're such a fucking asshole, you did this, that, like I'm like, oh fuck, I don't remember any of this. Like it was a bad feeling.
Yeah.
I was like, because everybody's like, most people who drink and definitely people who like binge drink and like party drink have like browned out, blacked out, and some people do it all the time. Like I got a little fuzzy on memories here and there, but like this was the one time where like I just went on for hours and did a lot of stuff that I didn't remember at all, and it was a weird feeling the next day where I was like, fuck, you can literally just like your consciousness can shut down. But your body can continue to operate and like do whatever the fuck it wants. It's like, it's really freaky.
I've heard stories about that version of myself, but he was never like a nuisance.
Yeah.
He was just dumb. Just more or less. But yeah, I slowed down. I know. I didn't do it to the verge of blackout after the Navy days. I just kind of like, I do it for pleasure, I guess. Unwind. I don't know.
Chill out a little bit.
Yeah, just exactly. Just
well, I mean,
something
weed
to do.
has never been a constant thing. It's always like an on or off thing. Like weed is I mean, my mother was a huge pothead, Grateful Dead person, and that passed through the family. And like there was quite a few family members I know that smoked pot, and like it was a big thing. I learned so many things after my mother's passing about my mother that I didn't know because I was 11. I was clueless, but like she used to send me to the grocery store because like out in Ransom we had this market.
The Red Barn Village.
Your mom would give you not Red Barn Village, Cheryl's Country Store down in Milwaukee, further out there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's back in the day. Now it was like a couple different things since then. Now it's like a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
But that was always Cheryl's Country Store, and like my mom would, get your ass in here, and like she'd give me the grocery list. Like go down and get Cheryl, get those groceries, and bring them back. And I had to walk. Like it was like I felt like a fucking Walton. But I was happy to do it because I love Mama. So I fucking walked down to the store and I come back. When I did that, little did I know that was her pot break.
Yeah.
She'd pull out the bowl. She'd hit it. And like, man, mother of life, dog life. And then I come home with the groceries. She's like, all right, let's make dinner.
Let's make some really good food right
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, she was a hell of a chef. She worked at the Scranton Country Club for a very long time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she was like a sous chef, I believe. But yeah, potheads. I never got into it. Like I like smoking pot, but I did when I was younger. But like now, I need the focus, and like weed does not help focus with me at least, because like there's so many things. There's so many balls in the air right now in my life, like with the projects, the music projects, the stage, my job, trying to find a house, trying to build an off-road Jeep. Like, I don't have time to sit there, smoke a fatty, and be like, what's in the pantry? You know what I mean?
Yeah, if that's what it does. Yeah, if that's the effect.
Some guys can handle that, though. They can, like, they need weed to focus.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite,
Yeah, some
unfortunately.
Yeah, I always see it as like it amplifies what's already present, So if like you're a person who's like, if you're like like I feel like other people probably feel the same way, but if you're busy and like to do stuff and you smoke weed, it's not gonna make you just like stop being who you are and sit on the couch. You know what I mean? But like,
what was that commercial where like the dog was talking to you and the person was the kid melting on the couch or something like that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Don't do marijuana. Or
no, that's like more like LSD or something. They always like movies get that wrong all the time. Like and commercials and stuff when they depict like what it's like to be high on weed. It's like it's always a trip. It's like no, you're tripping. You're not. You didn't smoke weed. You're tripping on something.
Well, I think we were lucky too because we were really active. Like when we would smoke and do stuff. Like we would like. Smoke and go play frisbee. Smoke and go play basketball. Smoke like it was never like a
sucked into a couch laughing at the TV.
Yeah, we never did that.
Yeah,
it was later on we did at points in time, but like as a whole, it was always a go do stuff.
Right.
Like, oh, let's make some art projects. Like let's do.
Yeah, we'd like swim or wakeboard or like there was like literally we just like it was associated with doing things. I mean, obviously, like watching movies and stuff too, but generally speaking,
but it wasn't just,
eating brownie
television.
batter.
Like that's when we were watching all those types of movies. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we were just talking, like that list of like Waking Life. Like we would watch those like sophomore year in high school and be like, what did I just watch?
You're just like questioning. You're just like getting high as like a 16-year-old, watching shit that makes you question all of reality. And like I'm fucking grateful for it. I'm so I'm so happy that I had that experience. I don't think it's the best idea to be like getting like stoned too often when you're like a teenager though.
We
Like
were
I think
pretty
it's
good though.
it's pretty moderate. Yeah, yeah.
It's like a weekend
Yeah,
thing.
weekend thing.
We weren't really big drinkers.
No, not initially anyway. I think
I wasn't
of us grew
until
into
the
it.
Navy.
Yeah.
Like I had my head on my shoulders and like I smoked pot here and there, but like when I got into the Navy, like I drank my face off
yeah.
because like that was like the thing to do. I was
Such a
social,
stereotype.
a social drinker. I was
Yeah,
like
drunken
that was
sailor.
it was one thing we did, and the Navy frowned upon it. Like you guys are not drunken sailors. I'm like, yeah, fuck, we are.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, if you say so.
But,
That's how things work.
Yeah, but
If you say you're not, you're not.
yeah, but I leaned away from the pot and I leaned more towards like drinking throughout the years, and I don't know. Now it's not so bad. I calmed down a lot from when I got out of the Navy and I started working in industrial maintenance and music. Like I shifted all my focus. Now I don't do the party life anymore. I haven't gone to a bar in so long, unless I'm going to play at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just go to a bar.
Yeah.
It's all behind me now. I'd rather sit home and watch Netflix and wait for Mindhunters season 3 to come out.
They're taking their sweet ass time on that one.
I just saw Liam Neeson's new movie called Ice Road. Okay, it's based off of like Ice Road Truckers.
Okay, I thought so.
Just
yeah.
came out on Netflix. Okay. One of the detectives is in the movie. The big guy. What the hell's his name? I can't remember now. I'm having a blank.
I haven't.
Did it make you question whether he's a real person? Like a
No,
real
but he
real
should be doing
detective?
You
Or
shouldn't be doing ice truckers. You should be working on Mindhunters.
But that's the thing.
No.
Mindhunter stopped because they all had individual projects.
Oh wait, is
So I
Mindhunter
found
a
his
fictional
project.
show?
What's that?
Is it a fictional show?
What's that?
The one you're talking about? Mindhunters?
Mindhunter is
Or is
based
it-
off of the FBI basically determining and like discovering and like classifying serial killers.
Okay.
They're just like I would say labeling. So like, all right, so this is a type of person we need to figure out, you know, like how many of these
Yeah.
people are out there and stuff. And they interview in Mindhunters. Not to spoil it too much for you because it really is a good TV series.
Yeah.
I'm addicted. I love it.
yeah, big fan.
Serial killers is and like mystery killer. That's a whole other side of my life. Like that,
Yeah.
me and the missus connect strangely with that. We watch the Bundy Files and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I've been there.
it's here. Son of Sam. We just finished watching that documentary last week. That was a lot of fun. That was, well, I wouldn't say a lot of fun, but it was
Yeah, that was
educational.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun for the family.
You learn a lot.
We saw one of the actors from the Mindhunter. It was the big detective, and he was in that Liam Neeson movie, Ice Road.
Does Liam Neeson kill a bunch of people?
No.
No?
No.
With a certain set of skills.
With a certain set of skills?
I mean,
He's so
yes.
badass.
he is
Liam
badass.
Neeson.
But he's so quiet.
So badass.
He's so quiet. He's like the new Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal is
I feel like
very
he's
quiet
way
as well.
cooler though.
Yeah.
Who do you think's cooler?
He is cooler, but Liam, I don't know. Now
I think
that
Liam
about it,
Neeson's
I don't know
way
because Steven Seagal was cool once.
He was cool once, but everybody that was cool in the 80s was never really cool. Like if you're cool in the 80s, like you weren't actually what cool is. You were just cool for the 80s. Right? Like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like no offense, obviously people fucking love him and I do too. Like I think
Right.
it's great,
Yeah.
but he's not actually cool in any way, shape or form.
But you didn't
Is
grow. You didn't grow up in the '80s.
I was born in 85. So I didn't grow up in the 80s. Yes, you're right.
You,
I mean, like
years,
I didn't appreciate like Jean-Claude Van Damme movies till later on in life.
right.
But he's cheesy as fuck.
I know guys that like it all really depends. Like a guy that was born in the '60s but experienced his life in I guess his teenage life and 20s life in the '80s. Like he grabs onto that genre.
Yeah,
So like
I get it.
I was born
But
in
the 80s
88.
is weird.
I was born in '88. I grabbed onto like the beginning of the 2000s,
Hmm.
like all the new metal rock that came out, Breaking Benjamin. Like that was what I grabbed onto. So I always call that my genre.
Yeah,
I don't know.
early 2000s had pretty good music
Yeah.
in general.
I think
Like, across the board.
Every decade has really good
Yeah.
music. You just have to find.
If you had to pick one decade that you could only listen to that decade,
That's tough.
What would you pick?
There's
I
different-
know mine.
There's different personalities to me. Like I love a lot of different kinds of music.
But this is a scenario where you must choose
I must choose.
one decade.
God damn it!
It's like a desert island situation. Like there's a desert island, and and the boat that sunk had like a complete collection of all the music from every decade, but only one of them washes up on shore.
90s grunge.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to pick a genre. Just a decade.
90s?
Yeah, 90s.
90s.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yep.
100%. I didn't have to think about it. It's
I
just
mean,
90s.
I was just a little tyke in the 90s, but like that music really grabbed onto me, and like I loved all that stuff.
Yeah. That's quality choice.
Yep.
Zach, do you have a choice? You have to have a choice, I should say.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with picking like 2010 to now.
To now, the last 10 years.
I think my only reason is because the amount of music that is probably recorded from 2010 to 2020 far surpasses the amount of music in the 90s.
So this is just a fully rational decision.
Yeah.
You think that's even true? Far like,
It's got.
what are we counting? Like
like,
everything
all
that
the
ever
YouTube-
came out on YouTube.
Well, yeah, like that counts. Like,
Yeah.
Where'd you start? You said you were putting out music on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
I'm counting that,
You're right about that.
and like that has
It's definitely like the
your
most
style of music has those bits and pieces from the 90s
influenced
and
by
like
the 90s.
the early 90s and late 90s that I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That checks my boxes for that. Moving on, I could find something else I want to listen to as well. Plus, I mean, I like a lot of new music that, like, I don't think you like as much, and I don't know all your styles of music, but like, I really like a lot of the newer rap and hip hop. Like, I'll listen to it. I'm like, oh, I actually like this. And plus, I think there's a lot of guys that will still do like some old school hip hop stuff
yeah.
that I'm like, oh,
Absolutely.
and they're still doing it. So I'm like, all right, 2010 to now, I'm taking it.
What sucks is, from my experience, I've witnessed guys, like I've heard guys' stories of like trying to go as far as you can go, and like you have that dream, like, yeah, we're gonna make it in the band, we're gonna get into a van, we're gonna play at shows, we're gonna get big enough to where we're gonna get signed, and we're gonna get on tour, we're gonna get a tour bus. That is all so far gone. It is so easy to make music. You don't need a record label. You don't need a studio.
Mhm.
You can do it home. And because of that, a guy, an everyday Joe like myself, I can put it like streaming services like Spotify,
Mhm.
when they took the earth. Like now, like music is so hard. It's hard, and it's also hard to find music that you like because like there's just so much of it. There's so much of it,
Mhm.
and like I don't know. It's just so easy, and there's so much music, and like I'm not saying like I'm still gonna keep hammering on and making music myself, but like it's just like if you think that you're gonna make a career, a successful career, you're gonna nail it, you have a better chance of getting hit by lightning, unless you're just that good. Like I don't know. Now this is the beer talking.
It definitely. Oh shit. They're strong beers. I don't know what the ABV is, but it's like I should have warned you.
I've heard
No,
nightmare
this one's only
stories.
7.7.
Well, you're just doing it because you love it.
6.
I do love it, but at the same time, I got yelled at for this. The reason why I spread myself out so thin between projects is because I feel like I came in too late in the game. Now, usually guys that came in younger, they have a better chance of getting signed and getting slapped on to like mini tours and like maybe a situation like getting slapped on a Warped Tour, something like that.
Right.
But now I came in at 25, 26, and that's not later in the game. Now I'm 32 and I'm still pushing music, and I keep spreading myself out even more, hoping my chances would be better, that like maybe a record label would call me up and be like, do you guys want to like tour with Breaking Benjamin for three shows since they're going to be in this region? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want to get at. Like
How many songs do you have now, originals? Like, which band would you say is more prolific? Like, what do you have more? Like, which one has more original music?
probably honestly, they're both equal.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for
Like-
music released,
Yeah.
I want to say Holtzman has more.
Okay.
But like,
Because you have what 6 songs for Soul Satellite on Spotify.
yeah, and we have I think we have 8 or 9 in Holtzman right now, but we have so much more that we were. If it wasn't for COVID, obviously our studio that we were working on have shut down. We were going to continue tracking and work on our next album. But like we have so much music that we haven't had the ability to release because you have to bring it to a studio, track it, master it, promote it, and then release it, which is tough because like all that was not existent last year.
Yeah.
So now we're all just trying to get back in the game. But yes and no to your question. Like I am extremely passionate about it, but do I wish I was successful in it? Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I
That was
didn't-
a
I didn't
long
know-
answer.
No, I just didn't know where
Yeah,
you
long
were
answer.
trying to go with it.
I always get lost when people ask me that because
Yeah.
like I really don't know what the hell I want. Like I'm making music. I would love to succeed in it. Am I going to? I don't know.
You are a surfer.
Hmm?
You are a surfer.
A surfer?
Yeah, you just don't know how to surf waves with
Oh, you
surfboards.
just got like, wow, that was sweet.
You're just waiting for the right. You're just out there waiting for waves.
I get it. That's cool. Can I tattoo that on me now? I just keep like a surfer with music, bro. Do you actually surf? No.
It's a surfer mentality, you know. It's like
For sure.
it's definitely it's all right.
You need
It's
to put a
nothing to be
little-
like. It's like something that it gets a bad rap.
Right.
People like you're supposed to know exactly what you want. You're supposed to be super motivated like towards those goals. But like some people just aren't naturally that way, and that's cool.
And we talk about it a lot here. Is like, this is like, I'm just doing it because I like it. I like meeting new people and getting to like know that person
Yeah.
and kind of throw them into the like, here you go. We're gonna learn about you today. You know, like Bodie came on, Bodie Blanco, and I was like, he's at
Hip
Keystone.
hop artist. He performs at Keystone's open mics on Mondays.
Bodie Blanco.
From Hazleton.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Because like I don't Jeff Knight handles the open mics.
Yeah.
Yes.
I trained him the first couple times and then I just kind of like because I built the PA system in there,
Mhm.
and I just kind of like gave it to Jeff because he never did anything like that in his life. So I trained him because he wanted to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And then now he handles that all by himself.
Yeah.
So
So like yeah, Bodie, I never met him. I was like, here's the address. Come on down. He's like, okay. And so like he showed up and we just started talking.
was it cool?
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we've had like a pretty good variety of people too, but I just like doing it. I could care less if I ever make a dime off
Do
this.
you guys have like a classification of me yet, or like what would you classify me as? It's like
Well,
weird.
when he asked me what you were, I said you were a musician.
Okay.
But I think in my original notes, I never actually looked back on the day we met on that
We didn't talk
off-roading
much,
trip. We didn't
though.
talk much, but I was
Yeah.
like, this guy, he's good. I think I put down there the Navy experience
Yeah.
and the music experience. So I was like, these are two interesting topics. And then, of course, everybody has like within the context of their life so much interesting like perspective and stories, and it doesn't even, you know what I mean? Like we could talk about anything. It's just like when people are willing to sit down and have a good conversation, like it's never going to be. It might be boring for people listening. Maybe it might even be boring for us sometimes.
No, I
No.
haven't
I'm
been
not
bored
bored.
I
yet.
haven't been bored yet.
I have to be completely honest with you, gentlemen. Though I have to break the seal. So how do I do that?
Yeah, you can break the
You
seal.
can either
Go
go,
break-
or if you want to
or we
leave,
could call it.
we could call it. We've made it an hour.
Oh, an hour and 40?
Almost an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think
That's-
that'll be better for Vicky. She'll be able to handle that.
Yeah. So my mom could listen to him. Cause
And she
otherwise
gets
it
a
takes-
shout out this week, too.
Yeah, another shout out from my mom.
Hey, moms, man.
Yeah.
Love your mama.
Yeah, I love my mom. I gave my mom a shout out one time after one of my fights.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
All right.
All right, yeah, let's call it.
Let's
Call
call
it a
it.
day.
Thank you.
It was a
We
pleasure.
appreciate it
Thank
very
you
much.
for having me.
Thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
this is awesome.